Oh man, we are cracking up laughing here. It's going to be a great night. Wild, wild, wild. Hey, Jojo, I see ya. What's going on?
Is it just me? Or is it getting crazier out there?
All of the above. What's going on, Dave? How you
And
doing?
more. And
Yeah.
let me quote Dr. Lovelace. Darn you.
I want to jump right into this because there's so many things I love about this episode. This is just so great. But hello, everybody. Welcome to Late Late Horror Show. I'm Dino. That is Dave Plouffe, a vile,
Egregious.
egregious Secret Service man. Oh boy, not with his shirt off, but hey, you were going to wear a different type of shirt, but you didn't.
What was I going to wear?
Let's not talk about that.
All right.
Okay. So welcome everybody. Check out Dave's link below in the description below. What else can I say? Hit the thumbs up button, please. Thank you. Overnight tonight, we got a detective stream. Nothing new there. Hello everybody in chat. William Curie, what is going on? Becca Too Tall, what is going on, Becca Too Tall? Good to see you. Black Roses, Andrea Black, Edward Stewart, Connie Clary. But of course, JoJo is here. Ed Stathis is here. Hit that like button, people. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Who else is here? Beverly Chambers received a membership gift. What's going on here? Oh, geez. Hold on, hold on. Oh, God. I didn't have the volume turned down. Black Roses, hello, gifted one Late Late Horror Show membership to Beverly Chambers. So she's not here, but she was gifted a membership. Kathleen Walker, what's going on? Hi, absolutely happy you're finally getting to the show. Yes, I guess, Dave, this is a fan favorite, and I can't wait to talk about this, mostly because of Michael Dunn, who plays Dr. Lovelace. And everything that comes along with this character is fantastic in this.
Well, little did they know we've already been talking about it for 15 minutes.
I know. As soon as we got on, I started gushing over everything I like about this. And there's a lot of things we're going to touch on, from Sherlock Holmes to Charlie Chan to lots of different things, to the babes of Wild Wild West. Greta, Dave.
Yeah, I'll take 2 of those to go, please.
Would you like it in a bag or?
No.
Okay. Okay, good to see everybody. Again, welcome. Yeah, so let's get started. Wild Wild West, season 1, episode 3, The Night the Wizard Shook the World. All has to do with dynamite, a new formula, something to blow up blocks and blocks and blocks. And this is a lot of history in things that have happened. I love when he gets to his lab, and then he starts talking about all those things that Edison, but we'll get to that. Start us off, Dave. What's going on here?
All right. Well, the first thing that happens is a foghorn blows, and we're in almost 19th century London. It feels like.
I mean, love it.
There's the policeman, and he's swinging around his little baton, and he's walking through, just checking things, and it's one of those great sets that you're always going to see in the Wild Wild West with barrels and boxes. It's a shipping port. But behind some of those boxes are 2 shadowed figures. One.
Well, let's stop real quick and let's talk about the big. We're Sherlock Holmes fans. It opens up and it looks just like the opening to a Sherlock Holmes movie. Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce. I loved it immediately because it's got this Victorian setting, the fog kind of rolling it. It just looked, the docks. It was fantastic, Dave. And then when you told me, do you know who the professor is? It's Harry Bartell.
Yep.
The opening.
Wine.
Yeah.
Took time to bring you good wine.
Yes, Petri wine. Harry Bartell was the man. He didn't play a big part in this, but
he dies really quickly.
Oh, very, very. It's like boom, boom. He's done. He's dead. Ed Stathis, what's going on? Good to see you.
And they
Yes.
didn't trick anybody either with that death. It was just like, that's not the doc. Oh, that's him.
Yeah. So the opening immediately just sucked me in, and I'm like going, man, this is going to be good. And then when I seen again who you're going to talk about here, Dr. Lovelace and Voltaire, I can't wait to talk about these two characters. They're fantastic. Pairing them up, Dave, was awesome. But I got to bring another thing up real quick. Does everybody notice in the background there, Dave's mug? What happened to it? It's cleaned out.
It is.
There's one lone pencil, and it may be the same pencil that Jim West used to escape.
It might have been.
That's why it's sitting there all by itself. No, really, Dave's sitting there, and the pencils are right next to him off camera, and he's dying to get them back in the mug, but it's all good. Okay, go ahead. Let's talk about Lovelace and Voltaire.
All right. So, Dr. Lovelace, this is the first of 10 episodes that he's going to be in the Wild Wild West. And the Wild West has 104 episodes in all. So about 10% of the time, we have Dr. Lovelace.
Tootsie's there. Tootsie's here.
Hi, Tootsie.
Tootsie, yeah. Dustin Hoffman, is that you?
I'm hoping.
Yeah, wow. I haven't seen him in the chat before. Go ahead.
Yeah, so Michael Dunn is this really very talented actor. He wasn't very tall. I have his height down here as 3 feet 11 inches.
Yes, he's a little person. He's yeah.
He only lived to be like 38 years old, which is really sad.
Yeah.
When you hear him singing, he is the one singing. A very talented guy, and also a personal friend of Robert Conrad.
Nice.
And I have a great Robert Conrad story. Is one day Michael Dunn literally came to Malibu and spent the night over at Robert Conrad's house. And Robert Conrad's son comes in and he comes screaming out. He goes, "There's like a little person sleeping in my bed." And Robert Conrad's like, "Yeah, that's a friend of mine."
That's so funny.
Again, great friends off camera. There is a book that I'm not sure if it was written by Michael Dunn or it's just a biography of his life. Super expensive if you can find it. It's about a $300 book.
Nice. Okay. William Curie, good to see you, buddy. Yeah, it would have been nice to see Dunn in more episodes, but I mean, I didn't look through his IMDb, Dave. I don't know how much. I know he played on Star Trek, classic character there. But yeah, I mean, this dude was awesome. And when we get to the singing scene, we'll talk about that. That was a little odd, but
it was odd.
It brought out his little childish nature that Greta talks about a little bit, but I don't know. It was a little odd, but
it was very French.
Yes. Hey, Kathy, what's going on? Hello, Dino, Dave, everyone in chat. Good to see you. But yeah, when they bring out Voltaire, Richard Kiel, another fantastic Kolchak, 3 episodes, 2 episodes. How many episodes?
At least 2.
Yeah. Okay.
He was the Indian guy, and he was
Bad Medicine. Yeah.
Swamp Creature.
He certainly was.
But he's also here. He's very, very young, and he's not in terms of grotesque, in terms of dimensions. He's kind of tall and slender and statuary, but kind of like a Basil Rathbone character. But when they put him next to 3'11" Michael Dunn, it's scary.
Oh yeah, I mean they pair up. I mean, really, really good. I mean, Dunn, Dr. Lovelace, who is this. He's kind of the scientist, and he's gotten a hold of the formula to this to making a bomb that would destroy. I don't know. He said blocks. A lot of area, and he stole that from the professor, who we're going to talk about in a second here. But so he's kind of like this little scientist who's not really evil. He is evil, but not really. He's trying to do good in his mind with what he has access to, right? I mean,
right. And I think that's also what makes him, let's call him diabolical.
There you go. Good.
Really a mad scientist. I mean, he's very with it, very smart, but he has one
Goal.
idea of the truth.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
California.
Not to mention the part that probably threw him over the edge a bit was that his ultimate goal too is to get land that in California that used to belong to his ancestors that of course during the Spanish American Wars was taken from him.
Right.
And
And
he
my
wants
favorite quote, because I will jump ahead to that part,
yeah.
Jim West says, "What would you want with it?"
Well, and he has a
Mostly desert.
but he says he has a formula that will turn sand into lush, like Gaia. You know, it's like he's got this formula that will make everything lush. He's got a lot of experiments going on that are just unimaginable, and that's what makes this kind of almost bordering a sci-fi type episode. It's really weird, but I loved it. I loved it. Hey, sweet indigo, one Sean Bond. Good to see you guys. Yeah, and yeah, and when you see again Richard Kiel, very young, you know, he plays this kind of, I'm not going to say dumb mute, but he's the tough guy, and he does play kind of a character in Sherlock Holmes, the Spider Woman, the guy with he has the big hands and claws, comes after
The Creeper.
the creeper. Yes, that's it. He's the creeper. Um, yeah, he's kind of got those features because he's so big and huge.
Yeah. I almost expected him to hold up a sign that says, "My name is Voltaire. I don't work on Thursdays."
Okay then. Wait, I did the wrong one. Hello, Adam for Christ. Good to see you. Much love to everybody in the chat. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend and the week starts off well. So yeah, Dave, so they're all at the docks, and what's he getting ready to do, Loveless and this giant Richard Keel?
He's
Voltaire.
he's got a small little pebble, which is the explosive, and he's going to shoot it through a pea shooter and hit the professor and kill him.
Yes, I actually,
Yeah.
yeah, I actually love when he's standing on this barrel next to Richard Keel, and he tells him to go, and he makes him move him, and you know, Voltaire picks him up, carries him to another thing. He goes, "Give me my pea shooter," you know, and then he says, "Give me my jewel box," you know, and then he starts to go in without saying exactly what that little tiny marble size thing is that he's going to put in a pea shooter and shoot. You know, at first I'm like going, it can't be that blows up an entire block or whatever, but it must be just a portion of the formula that he has, and he's made up these little things that he can just blow people up or whatever. It's kind of unique, but a good scene is what it was.
Absolutely.
Yeah, loved
Then
it.
we jump over to the ship, and we're in one of the staterooms.
Oh wait, no, are you going to talk about right in between there where Jim West go? Oh no, we are still at the very beginning.
We are.
I don't want to look over the train scene with Artemis. I want to talk about that.
All right.
Okay.
So Jim West is basically protecting the professor because foreign governments want his invention. And he's going to basically be the professor, although he doesn't look anything like him. And so I wrote
Right.
down as well for the beginning. I miss the days of hats, jackets, canes, and vests.
Oh,
Because
amen, Dave.
that's really
Oh,
what this first beginning of the
yeah.
scene was about.
Yeah, listen, that's me, man. I wish I could wear hats, use canes, big jackets, walk around the streets without someone thinking I'm Jack the Ripper, but you know, I mean,
True.
I love that old Victorian dress. I would love to do that. Who doesn't want to have a cape, Dave? I want a cape.
Mr. Costanza's lawyer.
I know.
1427 is our first Seinfeld reference of the night. So we're getting all dressed up. Greta's there. Greta's a babe.
She is.
And so we're getting ready and we're going to exit the ship.
Yes, we are. And they're going to come out. Oh, and the professor is going to be his butler, he says. So
Right.
again, Dr. Lovelace knows what everybody looks like. So nothing's going to stop anything from happening there, and it doesn't. But they're, I guess, trying to fend off other people that are after the formula. Go on, Dave.
I love, especially with when he exits the ship, how the kind of periscope is the sight on the pea shooter.
Oh yes,
Here's in on Jim West's face, and he's got these really cool, like, steampunk type of glasses.
yes.
And Lovelace is all like, "Hey, that's not Jim West," and he starts to get pissed off. But then Voltaire is all like, "Dude, relax. You've got a bomb in your mouth." And he's all, "I'm not going to bite down on it, you big hunk of chunk," you know. And he just kind of starts like chewing him, and then he starts reciting Peter Piper, "Pick to peck a pickle peppers,"
Oh yes,
just to
yes.
show that he's got all this control over this bomb that's in his mouth.
Yeah, and it's what I loved about Michael Dunn in this episode. I don't know if the writers like put this in because who he is, but there's always this childish kind of in most of his characters that he's played that I've seen, even in Star Trek, and it's fantastic. I don't know what William Carey means here. Can you answer that?
The way Voltaire takes out the guard, and you get that moment about Lovelace and his mother.
We'll leave it at that. Okay, well, I can't remember the reference
Sure, I'm not sure.
to his mother,
I
but
remember he says she was a saintly woman,
okay, there you go. There you
but
go.
that was it.
But was his pea shooter? Was that his cane too?
No,
It was just another little black thing that he opened up and put the pea shooter onto.
right.
It was a scope. Okay, so it wasn't a cane. I thought maybe it was like a James Bond thing where he brought out his cane. It was everything, you know. We'll talk about the cane later. Jeez.
All right. So then, um, Greta, who
Yeah.
we immediately know is like an evil person, she drops a ball of yarn, and it's just kind of like, doesn't even drop it, like kind of throws it, like, "Oh, I dropped my yarn."
Yeah.
And then her and Jim West head to go get it. That leaves the professor alone, and that's it for the professor.
Yeah, yeah. Luckily, they went back. This yarn rolled about 20 feet away, which a little odd, but it did. And yeah, he blew up. And I don't think there were any remains, Dave, of the professor anywhere. They came out looking, and they're like, "Yeah, he was gone. He vanished. No meat, blood, juices, or anything of any kind anywhere in the scene."
You didn't even get to say Rosebud.
They didn't. No. Tracy Williams, what's going on, Tracy?
Tracy Williams.
Thank you for letting us know they are all on YouTube.
And Sweet Indigo's there too. Yes.
Yeah, Sweet Indigo. Yeah, yeah. I heard of Voltaire, of course. Yeah. Listen, I just love that name. They picked some good names for the characters too. Dr. Lovelace, Voltaire. I mean, come on, fantastic. And then I think we're onto the train, right? The next thing we are is on the train.
Now we're back at the hotel.
Oh, a good place to be. That is right. Yes.
Yeah, and
It's Greta.
there is Greta, but there's also a hotel winch that opens the door for them. And she just kind of like stares down Jim West, and she's all like smiling and everything. And he's all, "That'll be all, ma'am. Thank you." And he reaches in his tight vest pocket. "Here's a nickel. Thank you for your time."
Yeah, is this the way the series progresses? I mean, not progresses, but proceeds. This episode, I think we need to start taking like a dame count. Is that a good word for it? A beautiful woman count?
All right.
Because this episode was filled with them
Yeah, it really was.
at the governor's office. I mean,
I
I couldn't
actually
even-
have a checklist here.
okay.
We're coming up to the first check mark, which is a shirtless scene, because you will see Robert Conrad without a shirt on in about 2 seconds from this time.
Yes.
He always kisses the babe. Another check mark there. And he always has a karate fight with criminals. And
Yes.
that's what you see at the end. So all three make up the Wild Wild West.
Love it. Love it. I really do. So yes, they're at the hotel. Greta is getting ready to take her dress off when Jim leaves to his room.
Yeah, because they're going to go out to dinner because that's the best thing to do after your boss dies and the
Yeah.
person you're protecting is blown to shreds. Is like, hey, it's time for dinner. And
Yeah.
he's all, don't leave here without me. And he's going to go in the other room. And as soon as he exits, Voltaire comes out of the, um, not the restroom, but probably the closet.
Yeah.
And it's again, it did have that reminding of, is it the Pearl of Death? Sherlock
I
Holmes.
can't remember now, Dave. I don't know why that, but yeah, the creeper, you know,
Yeah,
he's
I think
coming
he
up behind
cuts
her.
back and then shows breaks all the bric-a-brac, which includes the Napoleon head.
Exactly. Yes.
So then Voltaire comes from around her and just scares the crap out of her.
But they're working together. Greta is working for Dr. Lovelace,
She is.
and Voltaire brung some flowers and a note. And the note said, Jim West is next. So now that the professor's gone, the note says, exactly. I wrote it down because I thought it would be important. It is now West's turn. Yeah, yeah. Yeah. So there you go. But and then we go back. Oh, so that's going on, and basically they're going to go out for a walk. Jim West when he comes in shirtless. Go ahead.
And can I just
Sure.
take a
Yeah.
moment to talk about Greta Lundquist?
Yeah. Put your head down.
My comment was, babe. Her name is Leslie Parrish. She
Yeah.
is still alive. She was in episodes of My Three Sons, Hawaiian Eye. She's also in another Wild Wild West episode coming up in season 2.
Yep.
And which I almost thought was a joke. It is the Night of the Flying Pie Plates.
Listen, it sounds about right. No.
Right. And she was also in the Manchurian Candidate.
Excellent. Excellent. Okay, so there you go. Giving her some credit there. Okay, so now are we at the train with Artemis?
Jesus, we'll get to the train. Hold on.
Yeah, no, I think we're at the train. I thought the train happened before the hotel.
Maybe I missed the train.
Okay, it was very quick, Dave. Let me talk about it. I just want to bring this up since we're talking Sherlock Holmes and Watson and all that too, because they're on the train and Jim is getting ready to Jim is getting ready to be the professor.
Well, that took place on board the ship. They haven't gotten to the train.
Okay. Well, nevertheless, listen, Artemis and Jim start to have this back and forth where Artemis keeps telling him, listen, I don't want you to do this. I don't want you to do this. Something's going to happen to you. I'm really worried. And I'm like going, huh. It's a very sentimental scene where Artemis is Watson and he's saying, Holmes, you shouldn't, he's really worried about him. And and it brought me back to Sherlock Holmes and Watson, where it seemed like that kind of relationship going on there, where I'm like, maybe Artemis is in love with Sherlock Holmes.
Maybe he is, but he also doesn't want to break in another partner.
No, listen, I'm just saying it reminded me of that because of the Sherlock Holmes, how it started off and all that, and kind of the connections there. But he was just a little too sentimental, and I'm like going, listen, at this point, Jim West can handle himself. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But he did not want him to leave the train and go there. So anyways, that's my little spiel about the train, since we were talking Sherlock Holmes and Watson. So go on. Because there is that debate. I mean, was there an affair, something going on between Watson and Holmes? You read the books,
I've read the books.
Okay, yeah.
Watched the movies.
Right, yeah. So you pick up on any of that?
No.
Oh, okay. Well, good. Okay, let's move on.
If there's anything wrong with that.
No, not at all.
2410, another timestamp. Anyway, so now he's walking down the street with Greta, which, by the way, as we've done all the Wild Wild West episodes, this is a very common street corner that they're going to be on again and again and again. So they're walking down the street, and we start to hear the clip-clops of horse hooves. Yes. And Dr. Lovelace pulls a crossbow out of the window and shoots at Jim West again.
And he picks the top off of a barrel as a shield.
So cool.
Oh, it's a really cool scene. And Greta, she freaking takes off. She's gone.
Oh yeah.
How guilty does that appear? I mean, you know,
Yeah, if you didn't think she was guilty before, you know
she's
she's
guilty.
guilty now.
Yeah, yeah. Tracy Williams Parrish was in Star Trek. Parrish, was she? Who mourns for Adonis? Huh, okay.
Oh
Thank
yeah,
you, Tracy,
yeah, she was.
Tracy Williams. Thank you very much.
And what's freaky, and this is one thing I don't like, a monkey jumps on him.
Right. Yeah, that was weird. Like, I don't know where the monkey came from, but a monkey attacks him and he throws him off. And
By the way,
yeah.
there will also be monkeys in later episodes.
Well, okay, yeah. Well, he probably had a good manager, and he probably worked all the TV shows back in the day.
Oh yeah, sure.
Yeah, yeah, make a buck.
It's like Marcel's great great grandfather.
Exactly. Okay, so let's see, where are we at? Wes
So
comes
he gets
to the hotel.
he stops the crossbow bolt from hitting him,
Yes,
and then pulls up Artemis in another carriage,
carriage. Yeah, jumps in.
and they go on a clip clopping through the streets of London.
Yeah, romantic carriage ride through
It
the
is a
streets.
romantic carriage ride,
Yeah,
but it's also tricked out. If you know, there's certain things that like you're not supposed to touch in the carriage because it's all hooked up Secret Service wise.
there you go. Yeah, lots of good information in the chats tonight.
Thank you, Dave.
Monkeys were all over the place in the West. Yeah, I knew that. Monkey attack, Black Roses. Love it. Tracy Williams, she's an encyclopedia tonight. So Garrison was highly tuned in to his female audience. Psychology. He included bare chest shots for them. The tight bullfighting pants were his wife's idea. Okay. Well, it made a legend of William Conrad, that's for sure. Yeah, well, nothing more to say on that, I guess. I believe. Right. Let's see. I believe that Sherlock Holmes and Watson had a suggestive affair. Well, they cared a lot about each other. I think like brothers, and I think people take it.
I think it's a very close brotherly relationship. Watson was married twice.
Yeah, well, you know.
Granted, both of them died.
He's the what's the poisonous widow lady who was going around? Anyways, it doesn't matter. Okay, so where are we at? I think after the carriage ride,
back to the hotel because Greta's there because she's packing up to leave.
Yeah, and he goes, "Whoa, what's going on? Where'd you go? Where'd Dave go? There he is."
Robert Conrad wanted his partner to be competent, hence why in the rest of the series Ross was able to play the best part ever. Yeah, I mean, I think definitely Ross Martin is just an excellent sidekick to Jim West.
Oh yeah, I mean, I've only seen the first 3 episodes, but I think that's a given. I mean, he is a good sidekick. I don't know how much more involved he gets in the episodes in later years, Dave.
About the same.
About the same. So
yeah.
So Kathleen, I mean, I take what
sometimes he even gets a girl with Jim West.
That's what I'm wondering. I can't wait to see that.
Because usually it's only Jim West, but sometimes Artemis gets to score as well.
Okay.
So back at the hotel, he has
when Jim West girl brings a friend. Okay, go. Can you bring a friend? Go on, Dave. I'm sorry.
All right.
I'm put.
Thank you. God bless it. So anyway, he says, "Take me to Dr. Lovelace," and she goes, "Okay, I'll do that right now." And then she's like, she's all like, "Trust me," and I'm like, "I wouldn't trust you for anything." And then we get to Dr. Miguelito Lovelace's house, which is
he in the hotel. He tells her that he's on tour and all that, right? I mean, the gig is up.
Oh yeah, the gig is up.
Yeah. Okay. It's just sometimes you leave out some information, Dave, but that's okay.
Sorry, that's why you're here.
Yes. Okay, so yes, she's going to take him to Lovelace's house because he tells her that he has the formula.
He does.
She falls for it.
Yeah, she's not very.
Well, if you don't, I'll sell it to the highest bidder and the
Yeah.
highest for the country. Yeah. So,
Foreign government's going to get it.
Ah,
But when we walk into Lovelace's house, we get this great aerial view. And it's just like we got these birds in. We're not going to do Gilligan's Island, Ed. I'm sorry.
no, but he says he'd like the series back. No, it's we've got what we got, the old stuff, man. Well, unless you like reboots in 2024 of these old shows, listen, you're not going to get nothing good. Anyways, go ahead.
And you've got candelabras, you've got palm trees, you've got servants. I mean, this is a very nice
Servants.
servants.
There's servants there too.
Yes, there's
Wow.
at least one or two maids, but then we're brought into
Perfect.
let's call it the exercise room,
Okay.
and I'm going to let you take
Oh.
it from there.
Oh my God. Yes. So she takes him. Yes, like Dave said, everything Dave said. I won't repeat myself. Right, Dave?
You'd be repeating me.
Exactly. Oh, we make the perfect team, I tell you. I'm bumbling and Dave tries to be. He's the professor. I don't know. Listen, so he takes him in the room. Greta takes Jim in the room where Dr. Lovelace it's his game room, is what she called it. And he's fighting on a mat with 3 giant hairy men. Everybody has chest hair in Wild Wild West.
It's not even computer generated. I mean, this was you needed to
No.
vacuum this shit. Yeah, I mean, you could break it.
You need to
Break it and
vacuum.
find. I was like, oh my god, I lost my contact lens. Never gonna find it now.
He has the maids come in and sweep the men's chest every night. You know,
And one of them, I don't know if you noticed this, is Hercule Poirot because he's got a handlebar mustache.
yes, yes. Anyways, picture the image of these 3 men with no shirts on, all hairy, you know, even one with a barb, you know, and they're all sweaty and hair and sweat. Oh, it's got to be great, right? And that room must smell beautiful.
Oh man,
Oh,
I did not see any window in that room either.
no, it's yeah, there's no ventilation, which makes it even harder. But Dr. Lovelace is on this in the middle there, fighting all 3 of them. He's fighting them all with his cane. So his cane is like an extra appendage. It's his strong arm. And listen, these guys are either, you know, we can't hurt him. We got to let him beat us up. You know what I mean? Otherwise he'll kill us, you know, but he's beating the hell out of all 3 of them, Dave. And he's poking them in the chest. He's doing it with his cane, but again, he's 3 foot something.
3'11".
He's running underneath their legs, you know, and he's poking them in the butt, and then he's turning around and he's hitting them in the chest.
You know who he is?
Who
He's
is he?
Scrappy.
Who is he?
He's Scrappy too.
No, don't say that. Scrap, I hated Scrappy, dude. Oh, but no, yeah, you're right. But I didn't get why they did that. Why did they have to prove that he was tough? He could beat anybody up or something.
I don't know, because you see the tough side in one room, and then they go to the French room where Antoinette is, and then it's like, oh, it's the sensitive side, and it's just like, oh, all he wants is goodness. So I thought it was a very, you know, black and white type of mental thing. Bad guy, good guy.
Yeah. Let me see. Hold on real quick. Well, Black Roses said, let me do this for hairy, sweaty men wrestling each other on a mat. Black Roses. And then we got Tracy Williams. She says, that was an extraordinary scene. Usually the mental villain leaves the fighting to the physical villain. It showed how dangerously capable he was as a foe. Tracy, I have to disagree. I don't think it was necessary. It made for a great scene, but it wasn't necessary. Who Dr. Lovelace is his brain, a man. I'm not saying he can't be coy and quick of hand and take people out with his cane, but he's not taking on 3 giants.
if I
with the
can do all
king.
of that, why am I having Voltaire as my bodyguard?
Amen, amen, Dave. I
So,
almost said amen, sister, but
all
I
right.
didn't.
So it's probably, hey, we got 47 minutes to show. We need another 3 minutes.
Let's have them fight. Yeah. Bo brothers. Yeah. And then, like you said, they're done fighting and they go out to the room for like coffee. Bo, there's Bo. Good to see you, Bo. Meow, meow. Doesn't speak English, but might understand what you're saying. You tell him go inside, and does the cat go inside? Okay, no, don't know
She
English.
does what she
Could
wants
be,
to do.
could be a French cat. They came over on the ship. I think about 8 years ago. There was a big influx of cats from the
Really?
French vessels. Yeah, yeah, they were all over California. That's probably where Bo came from. Because I've seen Bo out in the yard doing wee wee.
I was gonna do a wee wee joke as well, but
Okay, so they're out there. They're out there drinking coffee, and he starts to talk about everything. And we do see this more sensitive side. He's trying to prove that I'm doing this for good and all that. And then he goes over to the piano where one of his maids, I guess, is playing the piano for him,
yeah,
and he's
that's
singing a sweet
uh,
childish song.
uh, yeah,
Dave, that killed me.
yeah. It killed me too, and I'm
Oh.
French. So her name is Antoinette. She's played by Phoebe Doran, who is also still alive today. All the hot women are still alive. Granted, they're in their 80s, but they're all still alive. And on IMDb, this lady
Yeah.
was also in the Montefuscos. Have you ever heard of that
The
TV show?
Montefuscos. No, never heard of it.
So I'm going to jump over to IMDb real quick because it is so crappy. You'll have to listen to it.
Huh.
Wild Wild West.
And you've watched this?
No. I just came across it doing research for
Okay.
our show tonight. So let me get Phoebe's
Black
list of credits
Roses.
here.
French cats in California. William Curie says, Kate. Okay.
Here we go. She's in 9 episodes playing Teresa Montefusco. The TV series gets a 3.5 on IMDb. Tony and Rose preside over their large family that enjoys eating and arguing. Their sons are married, Frank to Teresa, priest Joseph, and the baby Nunzio. Their daughter Gina is married to a non-Catholic, which provides conflict. Total amount of episodes, 9.
I wonder if it's playing on anything. Maybe it's on YouTube. Well, it sounds like it. I'd like to give it a shot.
I would just to go, oh.
Right? I put down in my notes when he starts to sing, and in big letters, WTF, question mark. I could not believe it.
And Voltaire is in the back by the harp, tapping his feet to it.
Harpo was?
Voltaire.
Oh, Voltaire was, yeah. Yeah, no, Voltaire, he's childish too. He's a yes. That's what he kind of was saying. Dr. Lovelace wants his land back in California. We talked about that. Or he will blow up areas. This is what he starts to tell him, because he starts to do a compromise with Jim over the formula. He goes, well, if you don't give it to me, and go on, Dave. You look like you're very eager to talk.
Well, no, I was just reading Tracy's comment there. And yes, I did notice that as well. The armed security is very much juxtaposed against the upper class room. He was, and I love how on IMDb they call them all henchmen.
Yes, the henchmen, yes, is what they were called. Standing guard with rifles. This was juxtaposed against the upper class hospitality of Lovelace. Okay, Tracy. Yeah. Okay, Dave. So yeah, there's a big back and forth between those two, and he pulls down the map.
There is. He talks about how the Spanish took it to his family.
Black Roses.
Black Roses.
The formula was later to be used to make Shasta. Okay. Henches. Okay, go ahead, Dave.
So he wants California back. He doesn't trust Jim West though, and so he sends him to go like basically to prove his willingness to sell the formula to a foreign power by going to the governor's mansion.
Yes, yes, he goes and proves it. But well, anyways, when he gets there, he calls the governor out, and the governor comes out with his secretary. Who did we say that was? That was Sigrid.
Sigrid. Her name is Miss Piecemeal.
Miss
That's a
Piecemeal.
very odd name. It's like Miss Moneypenny.
Right. It was almost like that. Very beautiful woman. She's back there, and she's just standing in the corner behind the governor as Jim, secret agent for the government, was talking to the governor about what was going on. So no secrets there between the secretary and the governor.
No, but when the governor comes out of this party, he's got a babe on both arms.
Yes, he does.
All over him. And
The
that's
door opens up, and there's a big party going on in there, and a couple women come out.
I expected to see Bob Hope in there as well.
But that would have been cool.
Like playing Monsieur Beaucaire or something like that.
Could you imagine Bob Hope in the background? Just, that would have been awesome.
And the secretary is also a regular on Hogan's Heroes. She plays Colonel Klink's secretary.
Colonel Klink.
And with that, that's where she meets Bob Crane and she gets married to him.
Yes, and they lived happily ever after. No, they didn't. But yeah, the two babes come out, and then he shushes, like they do. Go back, girls. I'll get to talk to you later, or whatever. And then he says no. I'm just asking for 25 men, from the Army Corps there to surround the property so that Lovelace can't leave.
Right. And he signs a document, gives it to him.
Yeah, yeah. Which kind of, when Lovelace does leave, how did they miss that? Am I missing something?
No, because they stop Jim West from going to Lovelace's to get all the people. But
okay.
I want to rewind just a little bit to the piano playing from Antoinette.
Okay.
It's so funny because it is totally off sync with her hands beginning to go to the keyboard. It already starts playing like she's like moving like crazy. But I mean, it's horrible, awful stuff.
I love Kenneth Branagh, but in this episode, Dunn is just fantastic, and I don't think anybody else could have done a better job. Even Kenneth Branagh, if he was back in the day. So there you go. Yeah. So
he leaves. The secretary, Miss Piecemeal, gives kind of a signal by closing and opening the shades. So we know she's also in league with Dr. Lovelace.
And there was I think it was I don't know what to say nowadays. There was a Spanish man across the street.
Yes.
He was from Mexico.
Right.
So he's he's Mexican.
Latino.
Is that what you would say? So you don't
California.
Latino? Okay. He was across the street, and he was waiting for the signal, and there's this rapid. They're following him. That's all.
Oh,
yeah.
And this is another set that you will see very commonly in the Wild Wild West, with a gazebo in the center of that park. So that's going to be used again and again and again. But basically, he passes this guy on the bench. Guy from the bench gets up, starts following him. And then before you know it, it's like, hey, buddy, we're going to be going into the stagecoach here. And it happens to be Jim West's coach, which is already rigged with all these cool things, such as a gun under the seat. You can press a button and you'll be catapulted off.
He ejects the two people. He ejects them out of the carriage.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Oh, I love it. But in the end, who's waiting right outside to stop him is Voltaire is there. Yeah, and he stops him, and the next thing you know, they're in Lovelace's what would you call it? His lab, right?
It's his lab, but it's not like a mad scientist lab with things
No.
bubbling and bubbling and stuff. It's not Frankenstein's lair. It
Yeah,
is.
that's what I thought, Ed. I'm sorry, Dave, because I'm so confused in 2024. I'm so confused with what I can say that my mind just wants to explode. So I have no idea. I sit here and just mumble on because I'm like, am I going to say the wrong? But I don't know what to say. Anyways, thank you, Ed. Yeah, go on, Dave. Jeez.
Do you want to take a look at our thumbs up?
Oh, sure. Yeah, let's yeah, take a
Because I
little
hate to
look.
say we're almost near the end, but we're almost near the end.
Let's take a little look. Take a little look. We are almost at the end. This is going by quick.
Romeo and Juliet.
Yes, 48 thumbs up. Let's get more if we can. Go call your friends. Ask them to hop on YouTube and give a thumbs up. Anyways, or not. Thank you, everybody. Yes, he had daddy issues like Dr. Evil did. The worst may have been Paul Williams. Tracy, you're losing me. You're starting to lose me. Okay, Dave. Where are we at here?
We're at Dr. Lovelace's lair,
Yes.
and he starts to show all the cool things that he has invented but hasn't put into practice yet.
Which in real life, all of these things have been invented by other people. So the fact that they throw it in here and it's Dr. Lovelace who's working on these things is just, it's, I'm not saying it's weird. It's kind of cool just giving him all these things showing that the capability and what he's trying to do for the planet is amazing. But yeah, talk about it, Dave.
Well, he's very much like a Leonardo da Vinci type of character here. He has invented the radio, and he's like, and he makes this kind of world view. He's all, there's going to be waves going through the air that's going to carry our voices, and it's going to get to a receiver, and we're going to be able to listen and do that.
Voices and music through the air. Yeah, I loved it.
He invented penicillin.
Yes, he said this moldy bread here will one day cure. And I'm like going, what the hell? Louis Pasteur. And a plane.
Yep.
Cars. So people will one day be able to fly. Got a plane. Then he had a big wheel. Did you see that in the back, Dave? He had a big wheel. He said, one day kids will be able to ride on 3 wheels.
Did you ever have the green machine?
No, I didn't. But we had big wheels. We had those, but never the green machine. Yeah, my parents were poor.
Likewise.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we got what we got.
That big.
I remember building a. We were so poor. We found wood in the garbage, and we made ourselves go-karts. We got nails, and we actually put wheels on there, and we were able to go down like a soapbox derby type thing. That was pretty cool. I enjoyed that summer. What was that? The summer of '69, I think. No, I wasn't born.
We're so flat where I lived when I was a kid. I'm like, there was no hill to go down.
No hill to go down?
You had to have your friends push you on soapboxes.
Oh, my. That sucks. But we did have a hill, and there were no brakes. And, yeah, we were crazy. But anyways, where are we at?
We are touring through all the inventions, and Miguelito pulls on a lever and Jim West falls through the floor.
I love that scene because it shows his brain power, his ingenious. He's walking with Jim behind him. He's showing him all these things, and in the end, he's saying, "How are you going to keep me here in this place?" And he goes, "Well, you would know." And he boom, and just real quickly, he drops through the trap door. And then the next thing you know, there must be somebody down there, Dave, because he starts being like brought back up in a cage.
He drops right after that. He pulls a second lever, and these chains go down, and basically they hook on to this Iron Maiden thing and they pull it up, and he's in this basically bars all around him, and his arms are next to his side.
Yeah, he's in a body cage where, you can't move around. I thought there was a word for that kind of cage, but can't remember. Iron Maiden's different. It's got the spikes
That's
in it.
close in with the spikes. Yeah, I don't
Yeah.
know what this is.
Yeah, but it was very cool.
To be on the inside of it.
No. But he's trapped in there, and he goes, "Listen, I'm gonna make you suffer. I am going to torture you." That's basically what he said. And he sends Greta up to feed him, is what he does. And Dave, what a better way to have a meal, huh?
That's the way I want to go out.
In a cage with Greta feeding you by hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
then he kisses her hand.
Yeah. Oh, he does. Well,
yeah, he's like, here's the food, and he moves over, all seductive and everything.
That was a good move by him, because
I wrote that one down. Make sure to use that next time I'm in the cage getting fed.
Right. Well, he used that because she's kind of, I'm not going to say stuck. Well, she is. She's stuck to Dr. Lovelace. He's not going to let her go or anything like that. And she hasn't, what was the saying? They were talking about there hasn't been another man around in a while, and there may not be another one in a long while. This is what she said. and he's like, this
Dr.
time.
Lovelace kills everybody.
What's that?
It's because Dr. Lovelace kills everybody.
Right. Yeah.
But it's 10 o'clock, and he says in 2 hours,
and all is well.
5,000 people are going to die. And
that's a lot of people.
That is. I don't know how he knew exactly 5,000, but I guess
because he said, and after that, another 5,000.
You're right. The very next day or something like that.
Very accurate, you know.
And by the way, I do have to say, when Greta comes in to feed him, her hair's down. She's wearing like a nightgown, and
yep, she sure is.
It was tough not to look away.
Yeah. I mean, by the way, guys, I am male. I was going to ask that. Thank you for letting me know that, Tracy. I've gotten that wrong one other time, but they were initials, and I couldn't tell. And I got in the habit of saying she or he, and it was, but Tracy Williams is a guy. So Tracy is a male or female name. So thank you for letting me know. Now I will always know. And welcome to the chat, and good you're here, Dave. So he's going to persuade her that, listen, there don't have to be a long break, and, just get me out of here. So he tells her to get the pencil out of his pocket. Yeah, exactly like that.
Yeah.
But what a move he had. Reach your hand in my pocket.
Oh, yeah. And she at first is like, no, I don't think so.
But he said, the first thing you feel, grab a hold of and pull it out. It's a pencil. So she pulls I know I'm going too far, Dave, ain't I? It's just such a good episode, and I'm just getting out of hand.
Fred was pushing the limit.
Yeah, I'm getting out of hand. Sorry, folks. Folks is a good word, right, Dave? I'm allowed to use that, right?
It's 5 letters.
Okay. So she goes in his pocket. Folks is 5 letters. What, did I miss something? Is that Wheel of Fortune? I don't know.
No. It's just all the bad words are 4 letters. So this one's 5 letters.
Oh, gotcha.
All right. So, so she starts sawing against this, like,
no, she's not sawing, Dave. She's drilling.
Whatever.
Listen, this is Curly saws the, we're gonna get out of here. She's drilling like this, like in a tooth.
Well, it's taken her forever, I'll tell you that.
It's a pencil drill.
I didn't think she was gonna get done by the time the henchman.
Yeah. I didn't think who would have known that little tiny little drill would have saved the day?
Well, I'm glad he took that with him to work that day.
And it was the kind of drill where exactly, Dave. Good thing it was just floating in his pocket. It's the only thing in his pocket, a drill. Who knew he needed a drill, Dave?
You never know.
But the pencil, it was one of those pencils, the lead pencils where you would screw out when you needed more lead. So she was doing that every time she needed more drill because it was a very thin drill that kept wearing down.
It's probably a diamond tip drill.
It could have been. Yeah, well, it probably was state of the art.
And it's kind of funny because it did have an automatic drill sound to it. Where do you put the battery? Is it rechargeable?
I'm sorry, I'm just looking at is it rechargeable? Yeah.
Is it a one-time use?
That is really yeah. Is it gear steampunk? Is it gear mechanized? Is there some way they're powering? I have no idea, Dave.
Solar power, they're inside.
You know what? That's a question to just
sucks because it's not realistic.
Come on. Oh, Tracy, if they made another Wild Wild West with Peter Dinklage, it'd be a good choice for Loveless. I'm going to leave it alone. I'm just wondering, Dave. You know what I mean? But okay. So yeah, there's some magical drill that just goes through, and I guess she drills through the lock or something like that.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Oh yeah.
But then she leaves, grabs the food, takes off.
Will the henchmen come in?
Well, yeah, and he goes, look, you let me out of here, I'll come back for you.
Yes.
And she's all, okay, it's a deal. And then after she leaves and the henchmen come up to the thing that he's in, the cage, they start heckling him. They start spinning him around. And then he's all, screw you, dudes. And he kicks the door open and he knocks both of them down. And I put a check mark next to Jim West fighting the criminals.
Yes.
And his karate things.
Yes. Well, one he drops through the trap door, and the other one he does his karate thing, and boom, down on there, and off he is running. And he's going to run to where Dr. Lovelace is, which is a clock tower.
Yeah, it was like a clock tower, but I thought it was connected to like a church. It was like a church clock tower.
Okay, yeah. I couldn't, like, it was so quick, I couldn't make it out. I'm like going, this is a clock tower, right? Yeah. There's big gears in there that are turning, and Dr. Lovelace is up there. I love the scene. I mean, he's just...
That's not the only thing that's big that's in there, because Voltaire's in there.
He's in there too. When Jim first runs in, yes.
Yeah, so Jim West runs in, and he looks up, and he sees all the mechanisms going, and he's all, I got to get up there. And he looks over, and there's Voltaire looking down at him, and they have this fight, and it's so fun. And the fun part where I really laugh is Voltaire basically takes Jim West's head, squeeze him and pop his head.
But Jim West is able to defeat it. I mean, he punches him, he gets him in the gut, and
but Voltaire... he has to jump. He literally jumps and hits him on the top of the head. Then he's got to go up.
But he wins.
All those stairs.
He wins the fight against Voltaire, the creeper.
He does, but I think Voltaire comes back. Not in this episode, but in a later episode.
Okay. Just looking at the chat.
All right.
Yeah, so and once he gets up there, they're on a higher level, and the gears are going because it's like a clock tower, and Dr. Lovelace is on the other side where there's these big like jugs back in the West, where they would put the
booze. We're talking about Greta.
Oh geez, there's these Greta wasn't there, but they got these big, there's two separate big jugs filled with the formula to blow up
wires.
Yes, with corks in them, and the wires are stuck all the way in there.
Yep.
And I guess once it hits midnight, they're gonna blow.
Right. We got less than 5 minutes to go.
Yeah.
And that gear is turning.
Buscemi was attacked by a man here. They sped the footage up a bit in the fight. Well, they did that a lot, William Curie, speeding up the film. to make the fight look. I didn't notice that. Did you, Dave? Speeding up this isn't 1920. I don't think they sped it up. If they did, William, I didn't notice that.
Maybe we're just so used to watching Benny Hill.
I think he's talking about the fight with Voltaire and William Conrad,
Right.
or
That's
Jim
what
West.
we got.
Yeah, maybe they did. I just didn't notice it. Silent coughs, silently coughing. He's drinking some tea. Okay, all that stuff's happening. Okay, yeah. I don't want to talk about current events. That's for sure.
That's fine. And so what happens is Jim West, in his strength, he jumps up and he's moving across this wooden bar. Michael Dunn had left his cane. The guy takes the cane and puts it right into the gears, and it pisses off Michael Dunn, Dr. Lovelace, and he's
yeah. There was that interaction though, where he's he doesn't care if he goes, listen, because he pulls out a gun first. Jim West pulls out the gun.
right.
He goes, you shoot me, you shoot the jugs.
Yeah,
And nobody wants to shoot the jugs, Dave.
never.
And so he doesn't really shoot, but he goes, Dr. Lovelace says, I can jump out right out the window here and down the gutter too.
I would have loved to have seen that. I would have paid money for that.
I was going to say, I don't think that would have actually happened. So Dr. Lovelace said it would, but no. It wouldn't.
So then Dr. Lovelace jumps onto the pendulum of the clock. And that's again, great scene. And he's holding on. He's all, ring, damn you, ring. And it actually knocks the cane out.
Yeah.
It starts to go. We start to hear the chimes. But Jim West has already gone to the other side, and he takes the cork stopper things out of the jugs. Boom. End of story.
Yeah.
Saves the world one more time. 3 times already he saves the world.
Well, I'm sure he's going to save the world many, many more times.
101.
Well, I don't think did he really save the world? I guess it could have led up to
the United States of America.
Yeah, thank you, Dave, because not the whole world.
No.
But the jugs survive, thankfully, and all is well. And he's back to the train though. And Artemis,
and actually Artemis walks in, and him and Robert Conrad and Greta are making out.
Yeah, they're lip locked.
And Artemis has to go.
It doesn't work though, and then end credits. I don't know if Artemis sat down to watch or if he, left the train. I mean, they don't really get to that. See, there's a lot of underlying questions here with this Wild Wild West team.
It is, but Artemis reflects back and lets us know that Dr. Lovelace has been taken to jail, and he's all that crazy little sensitive man. He walked into the cell carrying just one thing, this oddly shaped glass tube. And it's a television tube.
Yes, he says one day this will bring images to screens everywhere across. Yeah, it was. I mean, I thought those little things that they added for him was really cool. Just like as a side note. Yeah, he's going to invent penicillin, the radio, the TV, the airplane. I mean, this dude, he's gone. We will
come back to the lab. In a later episode too.
The same lab?
A different lab, but same type of thing where he's got groundbreaking inventions.
Not the same character. He doesn't play in this again, does he?
Dr. Lovelace?
Yeah.
9 more times.
In Wild Wild West?
Yes.
Oh, geez. Thank gosh. Oh my God.
Is a repeating character. He's going to get out of jail.
I just said, oh my gosh, so I didn't have to say the other, and then I go, oh God. So I say it anyways. What an episode. What a night. This was awesome. Listen, what would you give this episode? So far, I would give this a 9 out of 10 for Wild Wild West.
You know what? I'm going to tie you there. I think it is a 9.
Yeah.
I've forgotten how much I liked this episode. And I actually thought it was a later episode with Burgess Meredith where he invents a earthquake machine. So
What do you mean earthquakes?
So when you've got the wizard that shook the earth, I'm like, well, that's the Burgess Meredith episode. I had totally forgotten about this one, but I was so pleased because it is, I think, just a superb episode.
Oh yeah, 100%. Everything I like. It opens like Sherlock Holmes. There's even a Charlie Chan at the docks kind of feel. Harry Bartell is in there for some Petri wine. Dr. Lovelace is just Michael Dunn. Best role I've seen in any episode. Even some of these cold check. Best one character portrayal ever. Yeah, I put it up there. I love this character. And Voltaire, Richard Keel. Then there are a millennial of gorgeous women. A millennial? That's wrong. What's going on? I'm hearing doors moving. Is that Bo? What's Bo doing?
Bo's asleep.
What? Oh, you were touching your laptop, and I was hearing this.
Sorry.
it was odd. I'm like going, wait a second. There's a spirit here. There's movement somewhere. Wait a second. Did a pen or something just appear in that mug?
Yeah, about 10 minutes ago.
Oh my God. So now there's two. See, it's starting to grow already again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all right. Where do you put a pen or pencil? You put it in a mug. I put it in a drawer right here. And when the ink's gone, I throw it away.
How often does that actually happen?
It takes a while for the pen to lose its ink.
Right.
But I mean, I've got 2 pens in here, and that's all I've needed for a while.
Unless they're a drill pen.
Well, listen, you're a teacher. I get it. You know, you probably go to the store, the stationery store, and buy specialty pens and order them.
Perhaps.
Dude, perhaps. He said there was one he was waiting for. You finally found. You scour the earth for pens, and it was what was it? An 1896 French feather pen, something like that.
Oh.
Dave was just in his glory. If you want to go see that video, it's on his channel. It really isn't. I don't want to lie to you. It's all gardening, Bo. Yeah. So make sure you check out the description, that link down below, if you want to see some paranormal gardening, some good stuff. Let's see the chat. Victor Bruno is legend in his own way.
Victor Bruno will be. I don't think we're going to see him for a few more episodes yet, but he's also a person that will be in several episodes throughout the seasons.
Oh, nice. Listen, I did not know, we didn't speak of this, and I didn't look at IMDb. I didn't know that Michael Dunn in Loveless, the same character, right?
Oh, yeah.
Is going to be in 9 More Times.
Who else is he going to play?
Right.
Oh,
I mean,
another little person. Hey, do you know Dr. Loveless?
Well, I mean, he could. Yeah, I mean, 9 times it's got to be the same role. Hey, Overkill with an O. What's going on? Next week will be Victor Bruno. Well, next episode we do. Next week we're doing Kolchak.
We are doing Kolchak next week, right?
Let me look just to be sure, but yes, next week. It is Kolchak, The Night Stalker, Primal Scream, season 1, episode 13. Primal Scream. I didn't look it up yet. I didn't see what it was about, but
I didn't either.
Yeah,
but it's got to be better than Mr. Ring.
Oh boy, yeah. They all got to be.
I have nightmares about that.
Listen, we watched it. It's over with. It's done.
Sure. It's like going to the doctor.
Right.
To get a shot.
Yeah, to have to cough twice. My doctor always tells me that. He says, no matter every visit, my female doctor says, we've got to do this. It's part of the procedure.
Female doctor.
Yeah, but I mean, like, why every time? She says, cough.
Because you're lucky.
And if I don't cough the right way, she says to cough again. So sometimes I'm sitting there coughing for like 15 minutes. It's weird, Dave. I don't know. Maybe I should get a new doctor.
But then 2 weeks later,
Oh, yes.
we do have a guest that we're going to talk. Dan Curtis and Ed Stathis and Ed Stewart and everyone else is going to absolutely.
Dino throws away a pen and it magically appears in Dave's mug. Best line ever. Yeah, see? I knew it would make it there. How the heck did that happen? Oh, man. That's the best line ever, Ed. Oh, God, Dave. Sending you plenty of pens.
All right.
Okay.
But anyway, we have a guest coming up in a couple of weeks.
We
who's
do.
A specialist on Dan Curtis, has written several books about Dan Curtis. We're going to be talking Kolchak. We're going to be talking that,
Excellent.
well, the
Perhaps.
Zuni fetish doll.
Trilogy of Terror.
Yeah, Trilogy of Terror.
Yes.
We're going to be talking Dark Shadows and everything.
Yes.
So
Going to be fun. Dark
It is.
Shadows. Yeah. You better watch all the episodes, Dave, so you're ready.
I better start now then.
But yeah, about 2 weeks. If you start now and don't stop, no sleep, IV yourself up,
Yeah.
plenty of coffee, you'll be good.
And I even think he has met and been friends with Angelique.
Beautiful.
So
Sounds
it's going
good.
to be wonderful, exciting. I can't wait to talk to him.
Yeah, me too. If nobody has listened to my latest episode of Whispers in the Dark, it's up.
It came out yesterday.
What's that?
It came out yesterday.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. It was a long road in between, but episode 8 just came out. So check it out. Hopefully you guys like that. A Monster in the Window. Anyways, just watch both Trilogy of Terror. Edward Stewart watched it on his VHS copy, is what he did.
Nice.
Listen, it's 9:13, but I think we're going to get out of here a little early. We did get through this episode. Dave's hungry and probably needs coffee.
Absolutely, I need coffee.
Yeah. You know what? That sounds good.
Yeah.
No
Because
sleep.
it'll be the cream brulee, it'll be the caramel, it'll be the half and half.
Fancy.
It'll be wonderful.
Oh, boy. That sounds so good, Dave. What are you having for dinner? Any ideas?
Not yet. Not yet.
No? Contemplating? Do you have choices?
I always have choices. I mean, I'm in
Yeah.
California.
Is there something you're like in the mood for? Seafood, steak,
I don't
just a
do steak
sandwich?
that much.
No, you're not a steak guy. No T-bones for you. T-bone! T-bone! What do you say there, T-bone? I love that Seinfeld episode, Dave.
They give them the 00, and they're all 00. They're all no, it's ooh.
That episode was great. Everybody with their nicknames. But George was T-bone because during lunch he ordered a T-bone, and they go, "A T-bone for lunch break? T-bone! That's the nickname from now on. T-bone." But then somebody else ordered a T-bone the next week, and they said, "Hey, you're T-bone now, T-bone." And George was pissed.
Yeah, he was.
Oh, and then they made him the gorilla.
Yeah.
What was the name? Bobo the gorilla? No. Oh, I forget. Dang it. The famous gorilla that could speak. Whatever.
We have some Seinfeld fans in the chat.
Yeah, but then they were calling him that, and he was pissed off because he didn't like it, and everybody was like, T-bone. Oh God, so many Seinfeld references. No sleep. What is wrong with
Tracy?
What's that?
I said it's nice to meet you, Tracy.
Yes, Tracy. Thanks for stopping in. Nice to have met you all. It's been like recapping a movie with friends during childhood. Good night. Listen, we do this all the time. I don't know if you're a fan of Kolchak. We do that. And what else do we do, Dave?
We do Columbo.
Yes, we do. We do Columbo. So yeah, no,
And we do
no,
Art Bell.
yes, yes. We did one prisoner. Dave wasn't too fond of it, but it was
Yeah,
okay.
we can do another one.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
that was it. Or Overkill.
Coco. Coco, you're Coco the gorilla. I think because George was so angry outside the window, he was going like this. He says, "Look at him. He looks like a gorilla. He's Coco. That's his new nickname, Coco the gorilla." Okay, enough of our shenanigans. Galumbo. Okay.
That's like Gordy the Ghoul meets Columbo.
Yeah. Okay. We're done. We're out. Harry Scott shows up. Hey, what's going on, Harry Scott?
Again, Harry.
Good to see you, bud. Yeah. So Dave, you take care.
All right. I always do.
I know.
It's
Thanks
fine.
for everybody.
Come back rating.
Oh, good. Good. Maybe we'll get an extra show in here.
Maybe.
So